Welcome to Sportsbet Daily at oddsmarket.com. Bonuses this week. We've got La Liga and Serie A. Serie A will be coming up with Alex and Chef Michael, but La Liga means number Juan and
people.
Martin Green.
Hello, Flash. Hello, Martin.
Martin, how are you, sir?
Doing great, thanks, Flash. Pleased to see Real Madrid thrashing their opponents in midweek, but disappointed by Real Sociedad's performance. That was shocking.
Yep, it certainly let someone down very close to me. 5-team parlay, Real Sociedad. Yuck. Yeah, what about you? You had a good week? No nil-nils. You couldn't have had a good week.
Well, I had a good week because I had 3 wins. And Real Madrid, they really trashed their opponents. A shame that they didn't manage to win the Barcelona pick. They did over 4 goals, but impressive game. Yeah. Impressive game, nonetheless. And I am so sorry about Real Sociedad.
What about Barcelona? They did well as well.
They did as well, but they didn't win. So yeah.
Well, but that was always the fear with Barcelona, Martin, wasn't it? That
yes.
When they get on a roll and they start to click, they can score with every attack.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the comments from some of the Valladolid players after the game, they were just saying, when Messi's in that sort of form, you just have to sit back and admire it. There was nothing we could do. He's far too good for us. And Barcelona have been immaculate since he returned to the starting 11. They've just been destroying teams. And I think now's probably a good time to be betting on them to win heavily.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always dangerous though when you're relying on one player so much. But he is.
But he's Messi.
Yeah. Do you think he's the greatest of all time? Do you think he's the best player we've ever seen?
No, Maradona.
Maradona. Yeah, I see. I can't really put up much of an argument there. You know what I mean? Because Maradona was just frighteningly
If
good.
Messi wins a World Cup, let's hope he makes it. In my opinion, in Qatar, he is the best in history, in my opinion. But for Argentina, most of us is Maradona.
Okay. And Rafa's giving these 2 penneth worth. He's gone for Pele. Rafa don't know nothing about Pele. Anyway, Rafa, let's have a little look at this this record for La Liga, please. I think the boys have been doing absolutely brilliantly. The record, there you go. Average price I always go to first. 2.01, profit 6.5, accuracy 54.8. Not bad. 6.5 units of profit. And the individuals, please. There's Martin. There's 6. Oh, okay. Okay, so we've got 6.5 units of profit for Martin. And number 1.
0.
There's a shock. There's a shock. You having a 0. You've got to be over the moon with that. That's like one of your results that you bet on.
Well, it happens. I had a few bad weeks, but I'm bringing my game back. This week was good, and this week is going to be even better.
Yeah, and I've just noticed, because I've looked up at the screen, what you're wearing.
Yes,
you're wearing that Portsmouth jacket again.
No, it's Leicester. It's a good look.
Leicester, oh yeah, because Leicester are in my good books after beating Southampton 9-0. Thanks for that. There's another knife in me back. Okay, let's crack on, gentlemen. Let's start with you then, number 1. Osasuna 2.3, draw 3.15, and Alaves 4.5. Where are you going with this one, number 1?
I'm going with a straight winner for Osasuna. Alaves doesn't have a good record as a visit. My odds are 2.19. I think it's a very good odd for a very good team, Osasuna, against Alaves that is shaking when they are on the road.
Okay, well, I've got 2.3, so you want to shop around and find out. You can have the 2.3. Yeah, 2.3.
Oh, my God. It's even better, people.
Yeah,
good news.
Flash's bookies come out of retirement. So it's just straight, no messing about. Osasuna, 2.3, get the job done, yeah?
Yeah, simple enough. Osasuna is strong at home. Alaves, like I said, I'm not confident on them when they're visit.
Okay, I'm just wondering if it was 2.3 this morning when I wrote these graphics up and the words got round that number 1 and his people are going to be steaming into it. Oof. And they've all gone in at 2.19.
Be careful, bookies.
Be very careful.
I'm behind you.
They're on their way. Martin, Espanyol 2.8, draw 3.3, and Valencia 2.75. What a bad game this is.
Yeah, I don't like Espanyol at all, though. They've lost all 5 home games so far this season. They've only scored once in that time, and they've conceded 11 goals. They're a very poor team. I know they had a decent season last time around, but they sold their best couple of players. They haven't replaced them. And I think they're going to struggle over the course of the campaign. Valencia, I quite like this Valencia team. They're starting to gel under their new manager. The only game they lost recently was when they had a man sent off. I think they're good enough to go there and get the win. but I'm going to go for a draw no bet option just to cover myself. Got Valencia draw no bet at 1.9.
Yeah, that's decent, that. And I was also like maybe thinking under 2.5 goals, or Valencia maybe to win to 0.
Yeah, sounds good. If you're looking for a bit more value, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I can't have Espanyol on my mind. I think you're definitely on the right track there. And that seems massive value, draw no bet, at 1.9 for Valencia. Number Juan! Granada, 3.1 draw, 3.22. And Real Sociedad, 2.5.
I'm not betting for Real Sociedad, that's for sure. But I'm betting underscoring abilities, because it is a team that they score goals.
Right.
They have scored goals in the last 5 games. So I'm expecting from them to score another one against Granada. So my pick for this weekend is both teams to score at 2, even 2. It is a good odd. Granada is one of the first teams in the table. And like I said, Real Sociedad, they're not consistent, but they have good football, they have good players. In fact, I'm surprised with the bad results in the last few fixtures. But I am very confident on their scoring ability.
I've started. I think that at 2, both teams to score, that is an absolute classic. I like that a lot. Okay, let's move on. Levante 9, draw 6, and Barcelona 1.35, Martin.
I think this is Barcelona looking good in this game. As I said at the start of the video, they've been phenomenal ever since Lionel Messi returned to the starting 11. Absolutely blew away the opposition in midweek, and I think they'll continue in that vein of form. They won 5-0 here at this ground last season. I think they could probably do a similar number on them this time around. Levante are in okay form, but I think at the moment, with the way Barcelona are playing, it's time to be backing them heavily. They were able to rest Antoine Griezmann in midweek. He could come in alongside Suarez and Messi. That's just a very dangerous strike force. I think Barcelona have got decent balance in their midfield now as well, and they're just going to want to keep the momentum going. Can't stop winning at the moment, so I'm going for Barcelona minus 1.5 Asian handicap at odds of 1.88.
1.88. I think they definitely get the job done. Levante overcommit as well. So, and one thing we've got to say, it's Champions League and Europa League next week. So how many of these sides are going to have one eye, half an eye on it? But Barcelona, with the pressure coming from Real Madrid, then they've got to get the job done. Number 1, you love Barcelona.
I'm a Barca man, and I agree completely with Martin. In fact, I have the same pick, minus 1.5, Asian handicap at 1.88. Barcelona, they have won in the last 6 games. They are on fire. Messi is on fire. Like as he said, they have a spectacular trident, if not the best in the whole game, with Griezmann, Suarez, Messi, and Ansu Fati as a change, as a substitute. Then you have an absolutely magnificent midfield with Arthur, De Jong, that is probably the best sign of the season, in my opinion, and Vidal, the king, Rey Arturo. They are incredible. And Piqué, the last game, how they say it in Spain, he had un juego imperial. He was royal, he was imperial, he was the boss of that defense. Taking players here and out, tackling, he was superb. Okay, fanboy out.
Okay, moving on. Real Madrid 1.3, draw 6.6. Real Betis 10.8. We'll kick off with you, Martin.
This is a game that Real Madrid really should be winning comfortably. They bounced back to form with an emphatic 5-0 win against Leganes on Wednesday evening, and they've got strength in depth, I think, particularly going forwards, Real Madrid. So he could shuffle his pack for this one. Gareth Bale's been out, but we've had Rodrigo playing well. Karim Benzema up top. Eden Hazard could thrive in this game. Getting back to a full-strength midfield as well now that Luka Modric is back from injury. I just don't rate this Betis team at all. I thought they'd be quite good this season when they brought in Nabil Fekir and Borja Iglesias. They did get a win last time out. That carried them out of the relegation zone, but they're still marooned in 16th place in La Liga, and I don't fancy them to have much hope against Real Madrid in this game. Obviously, Real Madrid just won 5-0, and Betis have the worst defensive record in the league. They've conceded 21 goals in 11 games so far. So I think Real Madrid should win this one without too much difficulty. Same bet, Real Madrid minus 1.5, Asian handicap 1.75.
There's a nice little double to be had there, 1.88, 1.75, and maybe even a parlay with both teams to score, Granada and Real Sociedad. It looks good. Number 1, Real Madrid.
Oh,
you love Real Madrid.
Oh, I love them. I love to hate them.
Exactly. I was going to say,
you always need a good
Come
enemy.
on, Portsmouth boy.
Leicester, sorry. No, I'm also agreeing with Martin in this one. This is the first time that we agree in 2 different picks.
Have you done any homework at all?
No, I've just copied Martin. I have a nanny camo in his office right there behind his chair. Just watch out. Don't do nothing nasty in the evenings, please.
You've done well there, 1.75. That's good
So,
odds.
my pick is also Asian handicap, minus 1.5, but I did found it at 1.78, the odds. And also choosing the Real Madrid, like he said, Rodrigo, Benzema up front, Hazard has good games sometimes. And the midfield with Fede Valverde, let's just hope Zidane leaves this kid from Uruguay. This Charrua, this is a superstar in the rise. Fede Valverde, a great midfielder alongside Kroos and Casemiro. They're playing great. And the defense, of course, they have Sergio Ramos, and Courtois had a good game against the last fixture.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing I've noticed with Real Madrid is that there's a little bit more urgency. They're passing it a lot quicker. They're moving. They're having options. And I think that it's nice to see Barcelona and Real Madrid both rise to the top. Okay, last one then, Martin. Celta Vigo 2.66, draw 3.1, and Getafe 3.12. Looks like a tight affair.
It does look like a tight affair, but I think Getafe could do well in this game. I've been impressed with them over the last couple of years. So unlucky not to make the Champions League last season. They only lost out by 2 points to Valencia. And they've started their Europa League campaign well. They had a bit of a shaky start to the league season, but they're coming back to form now. Beat Granada. Granada were top of the table, but Getafe beat them 3-1 yesterday. And I think they can carry that form into this match. I also thought Celta Vigo would do better this time around than they did last season, desperately battling against relegation last time around. But they've now lost 3 in a row. They're down in 18th place. They're really low on confidence. Apart from Iago Aspas, this just isn't a good team. So I'm backing Getafe here. And you can get 2.12 on Getafe draw no bet, which looks like a good set of odds to me.
Well, as soon as you said, I like Getafe, I wrote down, draw no bet, coming from Martin. And there you go. That's how you know your teammates. You can pass it blind. Have you got a banker? Have you got a banker, Martin?
I think I'd go for Barcelona minus 1.5 Asian handicap, given the form that Lionel Messi's in right now. But surely Valencia have to go and get a result away at Espanyol as well. Don't rate Espanyol at all.
Yeah, I don't want to hex you, but I think you could have 4 out of 4 here. I think. Will you put these 4 together for just like a few shekels? Yeah,
definitely. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean,
good parlay there.
Yeah, I really like it. And remember, draw no bet means that if you have 4 and one does draw, then you could still have your treble. So yeah, very, very, very good. Have you got a banker?
Not this week, but if I will
have
to
thanks
choose.
For that. Okay. Well, that's La Liga sorted out. The boys are absolutely on fire. They're at Martin's 6.5 units of profit, and number 1 is just sitting there with noughts because he loves noughts. He just loves 0-0 draws. He
like
likes
my debts. I don't like debts. So.
No debts. But you're in. Listen, naught is good. It's a good base.
It's
to
good
spring.
base to start. Yeah.
But I think I like yours as well.
Yeah, it was pretty
because
good.
They're all the same as Martin's.
That's why? That's only why?
No, listen, brilliant. Thanks, number 1. Thanks,
Thank
Martin. I'll see you next week. Obviously, Champions League, Europa League, and obviously Premier League punters. So enjoy your weekend, and hopefully all your bets will be winning ones.
Look forward to it. Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
Martin.
Cheers, Martin. Okay, that's La Liga now, because there was obviously midweek fixtures in Italy this week. We're now going to go over to Serie A, and we're going to have Alex and Chef Michael. We've got the Grill Master and the Chef Master. So let's see how the boys are doing. How are we, chaps?
Un sueco imperial, Rey Arturo.
He loves it, doesn't he? He loves it. That's my little friendly Spanish Portsmouth fan.
I love it also. You are very bad with him. I can tell you that. You're very, very mean with the number one.
But you're only mean to your friends, see, because you know you can get away with it. That's the type of banter we have.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I went, because you're asking Martin if to put all 4 matches in a parlay. I went 4-0 in the midweek round in Serie A with banker in and everything. So I'm prepared for another round of fixtures. Today I have only 3 bets for this 11th round of fixtures in Serie A.
Yeah, I noticed that. I actually did a 5-team parlay this week, and one team let me down, which was I'm not even going to bother with them.
Real Sociedad.
Ah! Yeah, exactly. Horrendous. Chef Michael, how are you, sir? And by the way, Chef Michael, let's just have a little chat. Let's go back 6 days to Salzburg, half-time, full-time. Because I followed you in, I told you, 1-0 up, 26 minutes, miss a penalty, 28th minute, go 2-0 up, 29th minute, and then concede a goal in the 44th. So it's then 2-1 at half-time, happy enough. Half-time, full-time. Concede a goal in the 88th minute. Salzburg against Rapid Vienna last
Salzburg.
week.
Oh, Salzburg. Yeah, it's a derby. I would be afraid to touch a derby like that.
We went half-time, full-time at 1.8, and it was odds of 12 for the draw when we were 2-1 up with 2 minutes to go. So us Flashman always covers the angles. I wrote in £25 at 12-1 the draw, because the draw was the only thing that could kill me. As I got to suspension, Vienna scored.
Suspension scored.
2-2. 94th minute, 4th minute of injury time. They get a free kick, Salzburg. I'm like that. Well, this ain't never happening. Bang. Goal. Couldn't believe it. And the first person I thought of was Chef Michael.
Yeah, that was an incredible match to watch. That was fun.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to watch it. I was watching it on the old, on the computer with no game. It was just like the ball moving about, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. So it was even more pain for me. Anyway, let's crack on. We've got a good card here, boys, and I fancy you could go. They've got 5 selections between you. We're going to start off with you, Chef Michael. Bologna 3.8, draw 2.63, and your beloved Inter at 2.08.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Inter week in, week out. I've been on them every week, and just so happened the one week that I jumped off them, they had that draw. I mean, this Bologna team, they're in pretty dreadful form right now. They've lost 4 in the last 10, just won 3 in the last 10. And, you got to look at this Bologna side. You watch them, and, what kind of identity do they have at this point? They're sitting 11th on the table, and are they just going to be content with, beating teams that are, below them in the table, and then when they get to playing the teams that are above them, they're just going to try to slide by and try to play for a draw? And, you don't really know where they're headed. They've beaten Spal and Brescia and Sampdoria, but, that's the kind of, identity they're going to take on the rest of the campaign. And it's going to be a long journey for them. And Inter's not going to go in there and play for a draw, I don't think, even though they got the Champions League heading to Germany next week to take on Dortmund. I still don't think the bookies have caught up to Inter. I mean, we're getting 2.05 for a straight win. And you look at the way both of these teams are playing, Bologna is going to try to come out, and try to force Inter to play from the midfield. And, Inter's going to come out in the 3-5-2. And once Bologna tries to get in that diamond defense, they're going to pick them apart, in the midfield with Barella, Osimo, and Condreva. I don't see it. Lukaku's going to have some brilliant runs. He's been playing brilliantly over the past month or so. So I got Inter straight win 2.05. And I'm also going to take, I mean, obviously, we think they're going to win by at least 1 goal. So Inter -1, I'm also going to take at 3.0.
Yeah, like that. If you think you're definitely on the winner, especially when you get an even money shot, then you just hedge up, and if it goes pear-shaped, but you still win the game, then you've definitely got all the value in your direction. Alex, Bologna versus Inter.
Yeah, I'm not on the winners market because I'm really scared of this Bologna side. They have ups and downs. They are a tough place to visit. It's a tough place to visit at Bologna. They have always been a mid-table team with no huge results in the Serie A. But Inter seemed really tired against Brescia, and they were very lucky to win that match away at Brescia. Of course, I was happy because that was the banker of the midweek, but we could easily lose that bet because they were dreadful in the second half. They created less opportunities than Brescia. Brescia wonderful on the break. Nothing from Lukaku, to be honest. Yes, he scored, but the only player I can talk about is Lautaro Martinez, who is in great shape for Inter. Bologna will not enter this match to defend. I'm absolutely convinced. Conte will have to play with most of his players because Alexis Sanchez is injured and he will not feature. Stefano Sensi will be on the bench because he recovered from that injury but is not 100% fit. I think that despite the fact they have an important Champions League match against Dortmund at home next week, which is very important because they are fighting for that second place after Barcelona. So I'm seeing a difficult match. They might lose points here. I hope that they will win for Chef Michael to win his bet and for us to add some more units on our Serie A record this week. But I'm going just for over 2.5 goals in the match at 1.85, which is also my banker.
Okay. Your Serie A records. Rafa, let's have a little look at these records they keep going on about.
Unfortunately, I failed to put the 4 wins from the midweek.
So I'm just ahead of the game, am I? We don't often get one up on you. I just held that back. Hey, Rafa, what sort of speed of eyes have I got to see that? Here we go. Hey, no, I want the other one. There we go. There we go. Serie A record. Okay, 19.9 units of profit, boys.
No,
you are absolutely smashing it.
Add 4 here.
Add 4?
So 23.9.
Yeah, well, I can add that next week. But yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay, I will. Let's add 7 next week.
Okay, yeah, that'll be good. Average price of 1.93. Listen, I love anything around 1.8 and over is absolutely great value for me. Can we have a look at their individual records, please, Rafa? Top man, here we go. Alex, 10.2. Chef Michael, 9.7. Sharing the workload. Alex, obviously, that means you're 14.5. Chef Michael, have you got anything to add to that this week?
No, because you missed the midweek show.
Ah, see, you've led me into my next part of the show. I'll tee him up, you bang him in, Alex. Chef Michael, Verona 2.15, draw 3.3, Brescia 3.85, and welcome on the show, Chef Michael.
Oh, thanks for having me, Flash. I try to pick and choose these spots where I want to get on Brescia. I mean, I like the way this team plays, and I like the way they go forward. I like their pace, and I was watching them the other day against Inter. It's too bad Mr. Zlatan chose to go back to La Liga. I could see him on Brescia causing havoc with Mario Balotelli. That'd be interesting to watch, huh?
Unfortunately, that was a marketing spot because one of the bookies from Europe opened in Spain, the one that Zlatan represents, and he fucked us all with that short video that he will return to La Liga, And after that, 2 days after, he was talking all about betting and shit. So yeah, that is a shame.
So do we
Yeah.
know where he's going, Zlatan?
No. I'm sure that he will remain there because he will have a meeting this week with the president of his MLS team, and he will surely get more money, and he will remain there in MLS because, come on, he's gaining money, he's scoring goals, life is good there. Why to bother to come in Europe right now?
Okay, let's go back to Verona versus Brescia, Chef Michael. Where have you found the value?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go on the goals market. I mean, I think both of these teams are going to be pretty tired. They're not exactly, deep on the bench. Verona's been a dead under team. 7 of the last 10 have went under 2.5, and couldn't really get the value on the under 2.5. It's pretty low, so I'm going on the Asian handicap under 2.25 at 1.9.
Yes, like that. Under 2.25 at 1.9. Quite like that. Okay, Alex. Lecce 2.84, draw 3.4. Sassuolo 2.63. Not a lot to choose between these two.
No, not at all. You like this word, leche, from the Lowback show, right?
Yeah, leche is milk. Leche is milk in Spanish, because obviously I'm fluent in
Yeah, I
Spanish
know.
nowadays.
You are fluent already in
Si.
Spanish. Come on.
Fluente.
If you have number one next to you and he says Rey Arturo.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. I've been teaching him all week.
So yeah, Lecce newly promoted, Sassuolo the better side here. We did some money with Sassuolo 2 rounds ago when they beat Verona, if you remember. We did some money with Sassuolo last round when they scored against Fiorentina, and we are doing some money this round, and because we are expecting over 2.5 goals in the match. Yes, at 1.87. There is nothing separating these two sides, most of all with Lecce playing at home in terms of squad, let's say. If they were playing at Sassuolo on Sassuolo's turf, I would go for a home win. But like that at Lecce, I'm afraid to touch Sassuolo here. This is why I love the goals market. I'm sure that the newly promoted side will come to win this match. They are scoring, but they are also conceding, but they are better on their turf. Sassuolo, a team that I always liked, despite the fact that they are fighting relegation this season.
Okay, Chef Michael. Torino 7, draw 4.25, and Juve a massive 1.56.
Yeah, Torino, I mean, they came into the season with all the expectations. They wanted to, contend for the top 10, but it's not really going that way. They're, sitting down in 13th. They've pretty poor form lately, just, 2 wins in the last 10. But Juve were lucky to get away with that win against Genoa. There should have been a draw, and, Genoa probably even had a couple chances to win that. Juve have been battling some injuries. Chiellini, Higuain, and Pjanic are all going to be out with injuries. Ronaldo played over the midweek match. Who knows if he'll play this weekend? They got the head to Lokomotiv Moscow for their Champions League match. So it'll be interesting to see what 11 Sarri comes out with. He's pretty known to rotate his squads before the European matches, but I think Juve can still win. I think even Torino, they might contribute on the scoreboard. I don't think it'll be a too high scoring of a match, and I think Juve can pull it out late, late heroics again. Juve and under 4.5 at 1.8.
Under 4.5 at 1.8. I thought you was going to go the Alex Classic there. Okay, here's one. Atalanta 1.31, draw 5.9, calorie 11.0. Alex, 1.31 for Atalanta,
No.
who just score
Never.
goals.
Banker.
Yeah, they just score goals, but they also concede. And Cagliari are one of the surprise packages of this season. They are sitting there equal on points with Lazio and Napoli for the European position there. They are unbeaten, I think, in the last 8 matches across all competitions. They are scoring against big names in Serie A, and they will score against Atalanta because Atalanta, yes, they have the best attack in the league with 30 goals, but they have the worst defense from the top 12 teams in the standings. So they are conceding. They are conceding goals for fun, but they are always scoring a lot more than they are conceding. And I really loved, and we talked about it, if you remember, in the midweek, that they might pull an upset and return home with 1 point from Napoli. 2-2 draw. Many people are saying about the VAR. Napoli were robbed by one penalty in the last minutes of the game. But we win with VAR, we lose with VAR. This is betting, this is football. So I really love this Atalanta side. They're at third place in the standings. I don't think that they have the power to fight Inter and Juventus for the title. I don't think that they have the power, because that means that they should probably take Champions League away now that they have 3 defeats in a row in Champions League, and start concentrating on Serie A. And we will bet against them next week in Champions League probably. So I'm going both teams to score at 1.7. Yes.
Both teams to score at 1.7. I could have swore that was going to be the Alex Classic. Okay, give me a quick banker, Chef Michael.
I'm going to go back to the well here. Inter 2.05.
Alex.
Bologna-Inter over 2.5 goals at 1.85. Again, same match, but different bankers.
Okay, I quite like the Inter and over 2.5 then. Just combine them. Listen, great effort with you boys. Records are phenomenal. 20 plus units of profit. I think it's only the Premier League punters that are ahead of you. So keep up the great work. See you next week. Chef Michael, set your alarm. I'll see you Monday.
See you guys.
Top man, go well. So that's Chef Michael and Alex, who have gone through Serie A with us. Time now for NFL, my favourite time of the week. 49ers made it 8-0 last night, scraping through against the Cardinals. Did they take their foot off the gas, or did the Cardinals expose a few weaknesses that will find them wanting in the postseason? NFL means I'm with Spreader Stout and I'm with Jace, Sports Keg CEO. How are we, gentlemen?
Doing great today, Flash.
Good. So what did you make spread last night of the 49ers?
Man, that was a great game. So when Kingsbury made that mistake by calling timeout right before halftime, and they allowed them to push the score from 14-7 to 21-7, I was really worried that our cover was dead. But they were able to come back. They played a great game. That Kyler Murray, he's electric in the pocket and really showed that this 49ers defense, they can get after the pocket, but with a quick mobile quarterback and speed on the outside with the wide receivers, they might be able to be exploited.
Yeah, Jace, I took a few notes out of the game last night. Up tempo, found them wanting. And also Drake, unbelievable yardage last night. I can't hear him, Rafa. Did you mute yourself, Jay?
Hello?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Yeah, I haven't slept since yesterday. I thought,
Oh, hold on. But is everything okay?
Oh, yeah.
Well, stop
Just-
moaning then.
Writing articles, Flash, getting ready for everything. You know how I do, man.
Well, I only had one concern, and that was for your dad. And as your dad was all right, I don't care.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Doing better.
Brilliant.
The show was good last night. We went 8-3.
Right.
I hit the team total over on San Fran. And we had a live reception prop on Emmanuel Sanders. I thought Kenyon Drake was a great pickup for the Cards at the trade deadline. And they have the fastest snap rate in the NFL. They are the fastest up-tempo team in the league. And I was surprised, Flash, when they were up 2 touchdowns, I thought they were going to shut the door and I thought that they were going to run away with that game. But I was really surprised to see Arizona sneak back in that game. That is not really what you see from 8-0 teams in the National Football League. The Patriots wouldn't do that. So, I mean, I don't know. I left the game not any more impressed with San Francisco than going into the game.
I think what we've got to do, though, Jace, and Spread, I think what we've got to do is allow them, because they were 8-0, that sort of mentality of let's get out of here with a W, 21-7 up. Okay, we're up, I think it was like 28-14 with 2 scores ahead. We'll take our foot off the gas. We'll make sure we don't pick up any injuries. So I think we've got to give them a little bit of leeway. But for me, some of them big guns in the postseason will go back to this film and they'll go back to some of the other spots and find holes. And that's where I think he'll come up short. Anyway, listen, let's crack on. Let's start with you, Spread. Titans, +3 at the Panthers, and the points are 42.
All right, I like the Panthers here. I'm going to buy low here on Carolina. They looked horrible against San Francisco last week, right? Their defense couldn't stop anybody. But what we have here is a great buy low opportunity. And what we're looking at is a Tennessee team that plays the same style of football that Carolina likes to play. Carolina had a lot of problems with Kyle Shanahan's offense, the way he uses motion in the backfield, deception, the different formations. Now they're going to get back to a team that's going to line up and try and beat them on the line of scrimmage, and that's the game that they like to play. I think that Luke Kuechly is going to look fantastic going against the more old school, running up the middle type of offense. And Christian McCaffrey is going to have a great game to get back on track. I don't think Kyle Allen is as bad as he looked last week. We know that Niners defensive line can be fearsome. So I'm looking for Carolina to get back on track here. I like the Panthers -3.5.
Yeah, I did right when I was looking at this game. McCaffrey prop. Have a good look. I think he will have a great day against this Titans D. Jace, was this one of your games?
No, but I agree with. I think I agree with Spread. If Kyle Allen can hold on to the football, I think they'll be in good shape. You got to throw last week out. Going into that game last week, they were the number 3 defense in football. I don't know what happened last week, but I'm gonna throw it out. I still think this defense is really good, and I'm not a fan of Tennessee at all. I don't like them whether Mariota's in the game or Tannehill's in the game. So my lean is to Carolina too. I agree.
Yeah, well, I've gone a little bit more than the lean. I've gone Panthers -4. I know the market's now -3.5. May even move down to -3, just the field goal between them. But I'm with the Panthers at -4. Let's move on. Bears +5 at the Eagles. Total points 41.5. I'm going to come to you first, Jace. Total looks low, but I do like the Eagles.
In my opinion, Flash, this is the story of 2 teams that might not be going in different directions, but one team has hope, and the other team, as far as I'm concerned, is completely dead in the water. Why do I say that? Because the Bears season is dead. They don't have a starting quarterback. Last season, they were feeling great, 12-4, on top of the world, right? But they didn't realize that they drafted a quarterback that's going to set this franchise back 5 years. Wow. So I need over a touchdown at this point to even consider taking the Bears. The Eagles team looked rock solid against Buffalo. They really surprised me last week. Have they completely turned a corner? I'm not sure. But they at least look like they're heading in the right direction, right? The game comes down to one thing. This Eagles team is not great everywhere, not even anywhere. But they have one severe handicap on this team, and it's their secondary. Now they're playing a team at home that can't throw the football. So the Bears should not be able to take advantage of that bad secondary that the Eagles had. And if that's the case, this Eagles team should not only win, but they should possibly pull margin. So give me the Eagles here. I really like this spot. One of my favorite spots of the week.
Yep, I've gone Eagles as well. Any opinion, Spread?
Yeah, I mean, call me crazy. I took the Bears here, Flash. I've been going against I think
We
Malik
love
is mid all year. But I think this Eagles secondary might be the medicine that Trubisky needs here. I think the Bears defense is going to look pretty good against this Philadelphia team, and I think Philadelphia will probably gain a couple extra points just because of how the teams looked in their past performances. Boy, it's so hard to take Trubisky. It was one of my hardest bets to place this week, but I think 5 points is a lot for what I expect to be a low-scoring game. And if Nagy can just get a little bit of confidence into Trubisky, boy, he doesn't seem to have it now. I was a little worried by the post-game comments, which to me, between the lines, indicated that he didn't have confidence in Trubisky, but he's got to look at that. He's got to go for his quarterback. He's going to get a run-first offense involved, keep the game low-scoring, and I think the Bears can keep it within the 5-point spread.
Okay, well, myself and Jace are both on the Eagles, -5, and music to our ears that spread's gone against us. Okay, now this is my favourite play of the week. Jets -3 at the Dolphins. Total points 42.5. I'll kick us off. I see Sam Darnold. I see run game. That means a balanced attack. I think myself and Jace could run through that Miami D. It's just an absolute free-for-all. I think they put up plenty yards on the ground, and then when they bring the D up to try and stop the run, I think Darnold has a field day. -3, I was happy with a field goal, to be honest. Spread, any opinion?
I'm staying away from this game, but I like your angle on the Jets. You couldn't catch me back in Miami in this position. I stayed away just because I don't trust New York yet, but I like the look as the Jets if I have to pick every game.
You're happy that I'm on the Jets, aren't you? Jay?
Listen. I'm not saying that it's a bad bet, okay? Because Miami hasn't won a football game, and now they're only getting 3 points, right?
Yeah.
But my God, Flash, the Jets look like a bad football team.
Yeah.
I think their only saving grace in this game is because Miami's run defense is so bad. I think dead last in the league. This might be the game that we finally see Le'Veon Bell break out and run for like 100. I like whatever his prop is in yards. I like over because he should have a field day. But the only thing that makes me nervous is, can you say that you have the better quarterback in that game?
Oh, no. I mean, the thing is with Fitzpatrick, they come out with their planned schemes, and then all of a sudden, when you've got to ask him to go and continue that, he all gets all fuzzled up, and I'm thinking, well, just keep it simple, Jets. Drop off. Give him. He'll throw the ball. He will give you chances to pick. Now, I think Sam Darnold will throw for yards. I think Bell runs. I'm looking at James Conner the other night. He strolled to about 140 yards. He had
Amazing.
65 before half-time, and I'm like, what is going on here? They did as they pleased. And I think the Jets, they're made for the run this weekend. And at -3, I'm happy to make it my 2-unit play. I just think that there's a bad team and there's a really bad team, and the Dolphins come underneath that category. Let's kick on. Colts -1 at the Steelers, and the target is 42.5. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll jump in here. So I love this game until this morning when I got the injury report that T.Y. Hilton was out. You know, he was listed questionable when I was writing him up and making these picks this week, and I thought questionable would go to playing because usually I think questionable you'll play, doubtful you won't. And he went from questionable to out this morning, so I downgraded it from a love to a like, but I still like the play. And my idea here is that the Steelers are 3-4, right? They've beaten 3 poor teams, and they've lost to 4 good teams. So my idea is, do you think that the Colts are a good team or a poor team? And I think that they're a good team, and I think that we're going to see that. I think that when the Steelers had problems putting away a Miami team that we just discussed is, how terrible they are, and they needed a lot of breaks to go their way to win that game. Now they're going against a well-run, a well-coached football team with a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. I think the Colts have a huge offensive line advantage. They're going to give Brissett time, get Marlon Mack running, and even without T.Y. Hilton, I still like the Colts to beat the Steelers.
And what about you, Jay?
Yeah, I lean the same way. T.Y. Hilton's a big loss. But we were talking about it last night on the show. The Colts are one of the 5 best teams in the AFC right now. You have to put them in there. Them in Houston, I would say 4 and 5. So I'm not sold on this Pittsburgh team. They didn't look great on Monday night. So even without T.Y. Hilton in the game, I love Marlon Mack. I think that the offense is going to run through him. And Brissett has proved himself serviceable enough that against an average defense, which I think Pittsburgh has, maybe slightly above average, I think they can get the job done. So, yeah, I lean that way too.
Well, I made it an official play. I'm with the Colts -1, and I look at them and I think they're a well-balanced, good football team against a team that they play in patches. They've got a quarterback who I wouldn't trust at all. So for me, I'm happy to take Colts -1. And if it was at the if it was at the Colts, I'd be thinking I'd giving up maybe 5 or 6 points. So to get just -1, I'm happy to take that. Okay, here's a game I've got no opinion on at all. Lions +2.5. That the Raiders and the total points 50.5. Jay?
This Raiders team has surprised me more than any team in the league this year. I thought that this team would be substantially worse than they have proven to be on the field. Looking at the game, when I look at what the Raiders do well and what the Lions do poorly, the play to me is the Raiders. The Lions are a terrible road team. We know that. They've been like that forever. Stafford plays much better at home in the dome than he does on the road. So where else is the edge for the Raiders in this game? And it's what has worked for John Gruden all season long, and that's the Raiders running game. Detroit is 27th in the league against the run. That is especially dreadful and compounded by the fact that Raiders running back Josh Jacobs has been the most valuable player on the team this year. The entire offense runs through him. If he's able to move the ball consistently in chunks against a horrible pass rush, it's eventually going to open up the passing game. And if that happens, I don't see how the Lions recover on the road with a bad defense. So I think the only way to look for me in this game is on the Raiders, and I bet them for a unit.
Yeah, I think the Raiders get to Stafford as well. Any opinion, spread?
Yeah, so I took the over in this game. I think one of the reasons the Raiders have performed better than we expected preseason is the play of the offensive line. The offensive line has been fantastic. It's looking like it did in 2016 when they had that great season under Jack Del Rio. And one concern is Rodney Hudson is probably going to be out. That means they're going to move guard Richie Incognito to center. It'll be interesting to see how he does at center, but I think he'll do fine. Fortunately, he'll be going up against a backup as well because Snacks Harrison, the Lions defensive tackle, is going to be out as well. They were already having problems against the run, and he was a big part in stopping that run game. And then the other part of my over, so I think the Raiders will be able to score. The Raiders have a poor secondary. I think Stafford's going to look great against this secondary. They don't have a pass rush, which means Stafford's going to get time to find his guys. Galladay downfield. I can't see anyone on the Raiders that can match up with him one-on-one. They're going to need to double team him every time. Stafford aware enough to find the other receivers that are open. I think we're going to have a fun, high-scoring game in Oakland. That's why I took the over of 50.5.
Yes, a brave over 50.5. But if they do get swinging, they're like heavyweights. They won't mind airing it out. Okay, here's a market move that's moved against me, so I haven't played. But the Bucks +5, worth 6.5 at the Seahawks. Total points 52.5. We'll stay with you, spread.
So I'm on the Seahawks here. I'm done with this Bucks team. You know, I was really hoping Bruce Arians was going to be able to turn Jameis Winston around, but he hasn't been able to do it. And the problem that this has is, of course, the turnovers in game, but also during the week. You know, as a coach, how are you going to tell your team when you're allowing sloppy play and you're not valuing ball control in your most important position at quarterback? That it resonates to the whole roster. And you could see the way they're playing. The defensive secondary plays soft. They're going to be really easy to pass on. Wilson's going to look fantastic against this team. And even though the Seahawks do have problems covering, I mean, I just don't trust Winston to keep the ball where he needs to be. I think the Seahawks roll here. The Bucs are at the end of a brutal travel schedule. A couple weeks ago they're in London. Now they fly to Seattle. I think this is just the end of a brutal travel schedule for the Bucs. They're going against a much better team in the Seattle Seahawks, and Russell Wilson's going to be padding his MVP stats this weekend against a really weak Tampa Bay secondary.
Jay, any thoughts?
Fundamentally, I don't agree with anything that Spread said, but the two concerns that kept me off the game, number one, Tampa Bay has not had a problem scoring points this season, right? So when you're talking about a 5-point spread, with the amount of points that they've scored this year, I could see them hanging within the 5. Number two, they're the number 1 rush defense in the NFL, and Chris Carson has been really big for the Seattle team. I love Russell Wilson. Me and Spread talk about how he's the MVP every week on this show, but Chris Carson has set up a lot of that passing game with slow, steady, consistent drives where he's getting 4 yards at a clip, right? So it would not shock me to see him get stopped, and it would all be on Russell Wilson. Which, can he do it? Yeah. I mean, he's an MVP candidate. But it was just concerning enough for me to stay off the game. So I stayed off.
The only reason I stayed off was because the Bucs were 6.5 on Monday night, late Monday night, and then it moved to only get 5, and I just felt that, I love the 6.5. I didn't like the 5, so I looked elsewhere. Well, one of the games I did look at was the Packers minus 3.5 at the Chargers, total points 48.5. I got on the Packers at minus 3, Jay.
Shocker, you're on the Packers, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't bet this game yet, okay? But I'm leaning towards the Packers here. You sold me, Flash. You can get a 3 at 5 dimes right now for anyone that has that book. I haven't been a huge fan of this Packers team. Flash knows that. But I think this game comes down to 2 things, really. Green Bay has been running the ball really well the last month, and I think that they should find success running the ball here. Why do I say that? The Chargers secondary still has injuries. Both starting safeties are out in Derwin James and Adrian Phillips. Aaron Rodgers is going to find success going over the top of this defense. If that happens, it's going to open up the running lanes for Aaron Jones. And I know he's questionable, but if he does play, when you consider that there's a good chance Devontae Adams might play, I don't think that the Chargers are going to be able to keep up with this Packers offense. Keenan Allen might not play, and that Packers secondary has played so much better than last season, and I think that they should be able to somewhat contain Rivers. Plus, this might not even be a home game for LA. There is a decent chance there are more Packer fans in that stadium than Chargers fans. All that adds up to the Packers winning cover. So I think if you can get a 3 out there, it's good value.
Yeah, I mean, there is one book going minus 4. So there is a move to the upside. So, I mean, if you can get the Packers at minus 3, just a field goal, I'll bite their arm off right up to their shoulder. Spread, Packers, Chargers. Interested?
Well, I'll tell you what, I might go buy a Chargers ticket just for memorabilia. I think they'd be the only Chargers ticket in existence. I haven't heard of anyone who's backing this Packers team, and you make the perfect point. I don't think there's a good chance. I mean, I think it's almost a 99% probability that the Green Bay Packers fans will take over that stadium, and I think that's one of the reasons we're looking at the Packers is they've artificially inflated the line for the Chargers, thinking that they're going to have a home field advantage, but no, I think that they're going to have to go to a silent count at home. Just the move to LA. We'll talk about that on a different episode, but really bad idea. But I haven't been able to do it. Honestly, I'm scared of like the 99% money on the Packers. It's just I haven't found anyone who's taken the Chargers yet. But yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm not brave enough to do it either.
Jay, do you not know anyone that's taken the Chargers?
Not a soul.
Okay. Well,
everybody's on the Packers.
Yeah, listen, the Packers are a potential Super Bowl team in my eyes. They have been from day one. They've only lost one game against my other Super Bowl team, the Eagles. Let's see. I'm going to keep singing until they get absolutely sent home sent packing.
Well,
Okay, here's
they
a
better
good
beat
game
the
for
Bears
us,
this
gentlemen.
week if they're going to the Super Bowl.
What's that?
I said Philadelphia better beat the Bears this week if they're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, they've got to win all the way in for me. Just win all the way in. Patriots, -3 at the Ravens. Total points, 44.5. Now, I'm going to kick off here because obviously it's my team. I thought the Patriots at around -6, I would have been with the Ravens. But at a field goal? Belichick? Now, the Ravens coming off a bye, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare. Defence has had holes in them. Who's the one team you do not want to come in and expose them holes? So for me, Patriots -3 against the Ravens. I've got to go with them. I concede at 44.5 is probably right on the number. I think it was 45.5, so it's leaning towards the under. Who wants to go first on this game?
Go ahead, Fred.
All right, so I'm leaning the Ravens, but I want the 3.5. If it stays at 3, I'm not going to play it. So my ideas here are this: the Patriots do have the number 1 defense, but they've also played against the worst offenses in the league cumulatively to achieve that number 1 defense. On the flip side, the Ravens have the number 7 offense, but they've played against the worst defenses in the league to run up that number. So go ahead, throw those numbers out the window and look at the matchups. And I think that Lamar Jackson does present something that's going to be very tough for Belichick to match up with, because he's had problems in the past with mobile quarterbacks, and that's just one thing that it's going to be really hard for them to replicate in practice. Be interested to see the scheme that he comes up with, because we've seen with Jackson's speed and explosiveness, a simple QB spy is not going to stop him. I really like Harbaugh here scheming. I think he can keep this game close, but at -3, it's a no play. You give me 3.5, I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens at home off the bye to keep this game close.
Patriots D off the corners for me. I think that they'll panic him, blindside. They'll show him looks that he had never seen before, and come Sunday night, he'll wish he definitely had never seen before. Jay, what's your thoughts, mate?
I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do for this game, but I'm leaning towards the Ravens, and I'll tell you why. They have not the Patriots have not played a team worth their salt in 7 games. Their combined record is like 13-30, I think. And this will be the first quarterback that Belichick's going to see this year that will be able to break whatever contain that the Patriots try to do. And once he gets outside, it becomes a totally different ballgame. And I think that that's going to be an issue for this number 1 defense in the league. My problem back in the Ravens is Belichick's 22-0 against first or second year quarterbacks in his career. He doesn't lose to quarterbacks that are inexperienced. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to be the toughest test for the Patriots so far. My other problem is I think that the Ravens are an overrated ball club. I'm not that high on them as it is. I just think that this offense is going to give the Patriots defense problems that they haven't seen yet this year. But the Ravens defense, up until 2 weeks ago, gave up the most yards per play in the league. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, if I'm being honest. It's going to be a great Sunday night game, though. I can't wait. Flash, if you're not doing anything on Sunday night, if you're not with the girl, come and join me.
Yeah, okay. I'll give that some thought. No. I'll be with you Monday night though. Kick on. Let's have a little look. Cowboys -7 at the Giants, and the points are 48. Have we got any story for the Giants here, Jay?
No. It all depends on what Dallas Cowboy team shows up. Is the team that lost to the Jets going to show up? Or is it the team that absolutely stomped the Eagles into the ground going to show up? That's what it comes down to. Their offense, they have the weapons. They're more than capable to score every time they go down the field on a below average Giants defense that are in the bottom third in the league, right? So it comes down to, is Daniel Jones going to be able to move the football and score with no weapons? I think if Dallas keys on Saquon Barkley and takes him out of the game, I just don't know how Daniel Jones is going to win the football game because he doesn't really have weapons that I consider like real NFL talent. So I don't see how, in the end, I don't see how the Giants keep up with this Dallas team. I don't.
Okay, well,
so I'm leaning laying it.
Okay, well, let's put the get your pen and paper out because we'll be doing this on Monday night and I'm really looking forward to it. My first prop in this game will be field goals. I'm leaning already under 48. I think that this could be a really scrappy, rough, punting, field goal type game. Spread, do you like the Giants or do you like the Cowboys?
I like that
This
under
is a tough
48.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a tough game to cap. I haven't made a play on it yet because all my instincts just say take the home dog plus a touchdown in prime time, right? I mean, that's a typical play we've been doing for years. But to Jace's point, which Dallas team will show up? I don't think we're going to get the team that played the Jets, and here's why. When the Cowboys played the Jets, they were missing both tackles. Now they have Collins back on the right side. And they're just looking a lot better. With that offensive line is there, that Dallas team goes. And, with a full offensive line, I think that we will see them. So that's got me from staying away. I almost wonder if the books just put it up for guys like me that just love grabbing points at home in prime time and just do it instinctively without really thinking about it. So I'm taking my time to think about it. And maybe I'll have a play by Monday. But right now, staying away, but leaning the Cowboys with that full offensive line.
Well, if you haven't got any plays, tune into the live line with myself, Jace, Max, and Jimmy the Bag, because we will have plenty bets for you. Right, one more. Be really live, OJ. I'm not going to come to you, Spread, because we're overtime already. Browns -4 at the Broncos, and the points are 39.
Not a fan of this Browns team. I think they're a mess. I think they already need a coaching change. Freddie Kitchens looks overwhelmed. He's outcoached almost every game. Baker Mayfield does not look as good as he did a year ago. And I keep going down the line with things I don't like about this team. But with all that said, how can anybody back this Denver Broncos team with a quarterback that's never started a game in his life? Brandon Allen should not beat the Browns on Sunday. I know the line's 4. It makes me uneasy laying 4 with the Browns right now. So I'm not sure about that. But that being said, I like the under. We're not going to get anything, I don't think, from this Broncos team offensively. But Denver at home still has a rock-solid defense that should play good enough at home to contain the Browns offense that, quite frankly, has looked lost the last 3 weeks. So I think the game warrants a play on the under. I know it's like 39. Yeah. I just don't see how they get there.
Okay, listen, I'm wrapping up, boys, because otherwise I'll be here till Sunday, and then I'll go straight on to Jay's show, and then obviously he'll want his pound of flesh on Monday as well. Jay, have great shows over the weekend, mate. Spread, thanks as always. Really love your company. May all your bets be winners, unless you're against me, which is normally just you, Spread. Let's have a great weekend. Keep up the great work. Great shows, Jace, and love to your dad. See you soon, mate.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. That wraps up NFL Rundown. Best bets. Come and see us Monday night. It's the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be on live line. And if you want to check out everything on at SBR Sports Picks and at oddsmarket.com. Until then, have a great weekend and I'll see you next week. Champions League and UEFA just for starters.